to three insights in about 3 minutes. I'm Drew Dinkelacker, president of marketingaccelerator.com, where we provide chief marketing officer resources to business leaders and their marketing leaders. Today, we're speaking with Mark Bode, a highly experienced chief financial officer. And during the pandemic, Mark was the CFO for 5 different companies in 3 separate regions. From this unique perspective, Mark, how did you see the pandemic play out?
Well, it was interesting. I could break it out into the 3 main states that I was in, which was Illinois, Texas, and Florida. Kind of walking through it, Florida took a directive that said, use common sense. If you don't want to get something, protect yourself. Use temperatures and masks, but we will leave it up to you. Texas was a bit more shoot from the hip. They sort of saying what felt good or what didn't feel good. They kind of opened, closed, and then closed again briefly. So that one wasn't as successful. It sort of stumbled and got going. And then the last one was Illinois. They just clamped down, and that made it hard to do a number of things. But as long as we had Zoom, it worked.
You're also a high-volume airline passenger. What's been the impact of the pandemic on your travels?
Well, I was doing about 120 flights a year trying to get to each of those states and those companies. And when COVID hit, I shut down for about 3 months, but started traveling back up in June of 2020. And, really, I didn't find much of an effect at all. We were all nervous when you got on the plane. It felt kind of the same way when I got on the plane after 9/11, a week after that. You got just thinking, what's going to happen? We had masks. They didn't give you a peanut or a water bottle. They gave you a wipe. There were no outbreaks that occurred on planes. I talked to doctors, and there was really they didn't see anything in the news. They didn't see anything in their own internal press. So actually, I felt air travel was really, really safe, and it wasn't very crowded.
Let's switch gears to PPP. You've shared with me that you've handled the PPP loan application process for 15 companies with 6 different banks. What did you learn from that experience?
Well, in addition to the 5 companies, as you mentioned before, in 3 different states, as people learned that I was applying for PPP, they were asking me to help them with their companies. And so that's how I got up to the 15 number. I will say that I initially went off trying to get to the big boys, the Fifth Thirds, PNCs, Bank of Americas, Wells Fargo's, because I thought, okay, they're going to have the most clout with the government. They're going to figure out how to get it in, and they're going to make the government pay attention. And I ended up in Illinois and in Texas, both using smaller regional or even just sort of local banks that had done a lot of business with the SBA, whether it's for loans for cattlemen in Texas or for just sort of small business loans, the normal ones in the Chicago area. And the small guys just rode their their tricycles. They weren't even on bicycles. They rode their tricycles successfully past the big guys and got approved much more quickly, much more readily. The big guys built these big systems to make sure that they got it all right. Little guys just zoomed right past.
Thank you, Mark. That is great insight. Hearing from someone that has had direct experience from a unique perspective can be so enlightening. And that's what my clients have told me after we've had a discovery session. If you need some unique insights on your marketing efforts, then consider scheduling your own discovery session. I'd look forward to it. Just follow the link. That's it for this edition of 3. I'm Drew Dinkelacker, president of marketingaccelerator.com.